and people free expression of who and what they are.
On an adult level, I agree with you. I think it doesn't matter what you teach children.
Wait, I thought Ben was a libertarian. I don't agree with that. Wait, what do you mean? You can't express who you are? Like, what's it to you, nerd? Shut up. All right, let's see. Let's get started with the Ben Shabibo.
One of those areas is the area of transgenderism. The argument that is typically made by gender theorists is that gender is entirely separate from sex. You've seen the argument made that
gender theorists, bro. It's kind of funny whenever conservatives talk about gender and like people who have a better understanding of gender than they do, because it is a social construct. No matter how hard they try to make it seem like it's not, they make it seem like motherfuckers are doing alchemy. These are gender benders. Everyone thought that the only elements that you could bend were earth, water, air, and fire. Turns out they're gender bending. It's like you're making it seem way sicker than it actually is. You know what I mean?
It makes no difference on average if men are stronger than women are, and that if we were to allow transgender women to compete with non-transgender women, then this would somehow not disadvantage biological women. And this seems to me absolutely ascientific, that if we're actually going to have a discussion about gender and sex, that should be based in data, which suggests that mammals are in...
Wait, I'm confused. Why did you just say gender and sex? I don't get it. Hold on. Why did you just say gender and sex? Do you mean like sex as in or do you mean like gender and sex as in like two separate concepts that are, of course, related to one another in some ways, but interesting.
In fact, binary in terms of their sex, unless you have intersex birth defects typically or genetic.
Bro, once you realize that like 98% of conservative commentary is just about being a asshole, things change dramatically for you. Like he's vice signaling again. He's like, intersex people are birth defects. It's like, dude, that is so wild. Like, why are they birth defects? Because it doesn't correspond to how I understand gender as a rigid binary. So it's a birth defect. Like you're dick, man. You're like, and whenever you talk about it's not a defect, it's not the norm though. Yeah, it's not in the norm. I know. But what is funny about this is like, okay, what's the argument there? Are you gonna make a natural argument for sex, like biological sex in the animal kingdom? Because seahorses are out here developing ovaries and shit when there's not enough ladies around. You know what I mean?
You could be a visitor from Mars, and you could see that all of human procreation relies on man, woman, child. This is not particularly difficult stuff. By essentially boxing in the argument in favor of traditional marriage into, well, if you're a crazy religious believer, maybe we'll let you have that. But, you know, if you're a cake baker, then we're not sure about that, right? I mean, like, we're not sure how.
He's trying to say if Martians came down to Earth, they would realize that marriage should be between a man and a woman, which is really stupid because if you try to make the nature argument, as I correctly pointed out, there are gay-ass animals here on Earth, dog. The do you mean? Aliens would probably be gay as too. Like, there's no concept of sexuality in aliens, idiot. But like, Ben, have you never seen an animal? Like, have you never been around animals? Did you not learn about the animal kingdom? What a psychotic take. There's no part of the appealing to nature is already stupid. It's already a logical fallacy, right? But like when you appeal to nature, you're basically talking about like the gayest that anyone could have ever imagined. Like the most trans and the most gay ever happens if you've had a dog ever, if you've like ever adopted a dog, or if you have like an animal, okay, in your house, you already know dogs are gay as straight up. So it makes no sense like to talk about nature when like nature is way more gay than humans who also exist in nature. But like nature in the wild unrestricted is super gay, like omega gay and omega trans, you know what I mean?
Defects.
I'm happy to opine on this. This only matters because today we segregate nearly all sports by gender. Otherwise, why do we even give a shit? What someone identifies with. So we live in a free country and with consenting adults and people free expression of who and what they are.
On an adult level, I agree with you. I think it doesn't matter what you teach children.
And so,
wait, I thought Ben was a libertarian. I don't agree with that. Wait, what do you mean? You can't express who you are? Like, what's it to you, nerd? Shut the up. Like, seriously, what is it to you? Why are you so bent that there are people just living free? He's just like, no, I don't agree. Everyone should have the boring, sexless life that I live.
So there's the matrix of what you are biologically, how you express yourself, who you choose as a sexual partner. If we actually live in a free country, as we tell ourselves, people's freedom to behave in any of those ways should not concern you at all. Nor are they requiring that you behave that way. Okay, this is for their own freedoms because we live in a
no one is forcibly transing Ben. Okay, I love how Ben Shapiro has to be pretended he's disgusted by this. Oh my God, he's like kind of into it.
How long is this video?
Wait, what? Yo, my man is an intellectual, dude. What the fuck? Yo, he likes it. Hey, yo. Hypothetically, what if this made me feel things that my wife, who's a doctor, by the way, haven't made me feel in years? No one is forcibly transing Ben, even though he would be cute. We have seen photos of Jen Shabibo, and, she ain't bad.
free country. Now, what is unresolved here is, what do you do with sports? It's unresolved. And closely, I don't see any meaningful solutions to come down off of that. We know that hormones manifest differently in different people, and there's the whole thing with steroids. Steroids are hormones, right? And we rallied against steroids in professional sports because it gives you an undue advantage. So I've tried to think of what the future of sports would be in the world of a gender spectrum. And it may be, you don't specify whether it's a male or female sport. You just take measurements of what your hormonal balances are. And so you compete based on your hormones. I mean, this is thought I had. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to land.
The WNBA won't be in business for very long if that's the case.
I disagree. I think, first of all, if trans people were as fire at athletic competition as the way conservatives claim that they are, and not just a bunch of coder sock wearing Hearts of Iron players who love modding Fallout New Vegas, okay, and just being left alone and memeing and if trans people were just that good at athletic then trans women being incorporated into a space that's otherwise dominated by cis women would literally bring more eyeballs and therefore more revenue to all of these sports, genuinely uplifting female sports in general. But of course, that's not the case. You know what I mean? It's just not. It just comes from a place of living in fear and in an otherwise insulated existence where you are so far removed from the existence of real trans people in the real world. There's been a story about a trans fighter beating our local fighter in women's league or whatever. So yeah, it's happening. Yeah, you think it's happening because one, there aren't that many trans people in general, and there aren't that many trans people that are competing in athletic competitions. But the reason why you think it's happening is because whenever a trans person actually competes, it becomes a matter of news. Everyone always talks about it endlessly. And we are, unfortunately, lizard-brained dipshits, all of us, right? We're all super lizard-brained. So when we get stimulated by something that's fascinating and new, a phenomena, right? We immediately have this bias where we assume that this is happening way more frequently. It's not. It's not a thing. It's not a commonplace occurrence, and the facts do not correspond to your feelings in that regard. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's vibes based,